And welcome back. Hopefully those exercises weren't too tough and you breezed right through them. We're going to talk about something called control flow. Up until now, we've been doing this little arrow. We write a line of code, then another line of code, then another line of code, then another line of code. And everything executes in one line, just flows, just kind of like water. If you're pouring water down, it's just going straight down. But what if we had conditions? What if we wanted to say something like, if username is Bob, say hi Bob. If not, say I don't know you. Maybe sign in again, or we don't have this user. And that's called conditional execution. And it looks something like this, where we get to a point in the program and we have two options, where we either want to go one way or the other, and then continue executing. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about exactly that, conditional execution. Let's try some out. So JavaScript conditionals, that's what they're called. We're going to start off with what's called an if statement. And an if statement kind of reads like English. We can do something similar to this. I say if name equals, remember 3 equal signs here, because we're not assigning a variable, we're comparing. If name equals Billy, close the bracket, and this is just a notation that you'll have to get used to. Again, it's just like learning a language. You just have to know that when you're doing an if statement, you have to have these brackets, close the brackets, and then you do curly bracket, hold shift and enter so that the program doesn't execute. And we'll say, I've added a tab just so you can see for indentation. I can say alert, hi, Billy. And I close the bracket. And again, just like I said, each expression, something that produces a value, needs to have a semicolon. And you might think that you need a semicolon here, but again, with an if statement, you don't add one. But alert, that's an expression, we add a semicolon here. Now you might be asking yourself, well, we haven't assigned a variable to name yet. So let's do that. I'm going to say name variable name equals, we'll say, Billy. And I'm going to press enter. Let's see what happens. Hi, Billy. Okay, so that looks like it's working. Just to double check, what if I change name to Susie? Oops. Semicolon, not column. Okay, and now if we run this program again, I'm going to just copy it. If name equals Billy, alert, hi Billy. Nothing happens. I just get undefined and no alert. So that's a conditional statement. But let's be realistic here. You often won't just have code that executes when a condition holds true, but also code that handles other cases, such as when the name isn't Billy, maybe when the name is Susie. So this alternate path is shown, if you remember in the diagram, by the alternate arrow. We need to have an alternate route in case the name doesn't equal Billy. So let's go back again and see what we can do. So the second keyword that we're going to learn is else. So you can do something like if name equals Billy, and I just press right key arrow here again. Google Chrome is smart enough to know that you've typed this before. And now, instead of leaving it like that, I now press space else. So if name equals Billy, alert, hi Billy. Else, it kind of reads like English, right? And then again, else, opening curly bracket, closing curly bracket, and within here, I'm going to say alert. I don't know you. So now let's see what happens. I don't know you. And why is that? Because if you remember, name equals Susie. If I change name to Billy, well, and redo the program, I get hi Billy. So that's what's called an if-else statement. You write a condition, if something equals true, then do something, else do something else. And this is just a syntax you'll have to learn, but as you can see, it's fairly easy. You write it a couple of times and you'll get the hang of it. Okay, but now you might have another question. What if you have something like this, something a little bit more complicated like this, where you have multiple conditions? Let's see what I'm talking about by showing you another example. In this one, we're going to use something called else if. So again, I'm going to say if name equals Billy. Again, I'm just going to press the right key here and it's going to load up what I've written before. So if name equals Billy, alert, hi Billy. Else, alert, I don't know. I don't know you. But what if we also want to check for the name Susie? Well, I can do something like else if name equals Susie, close bracket, I'm going to say, hi, Susie. And at the end here, you can leave it as is, or again, we can add an else statement. So if both of these fail, both of these comparisons fail, I can say else alert, I don't know you. Close the bracket. Again, don't forget to close the bracket. Press enter and it says hi Billy because remember my name is Billy. But if I do name equals Susie and I rerun the program, again press the arrow key and I press enter, I get hi Susie. That's pretty cool, right? You can think of this kind of like how passwords work, right? This is what forms are doing. They're checking your email and checking your password using simple logic like this. Now, I want to show you also with conditionals what's very useful. And that's something called logical operators. I'm going to show you the 3 of them. If I can uncomment this. There you go. And these are the 3. So let's clean this up and try something. I can go if name equals Billy, or these 2 lines, so that's right above your enter key. This means or in JavaScript, or name equals and, then alert, hi Billy or Ann, close the bracket. What do you think will happen here? Let's see. Name equals Billy. Re-execute the program. Press enter. And again, hi, Billy or Ann. But if now the name is Ann, and I re-execute the program, press enter, again, hi, Billy or Ann. That's pretty cool. I can do or comparison. What's another one that we can do? Well, we can also do and, which is 2 of these signs. And this means if name equals Billy and name equals Ann. Let's see if this works. No. Let's do name equals and redo the program and I'm not getting anything. What if I do Billy? And execute? Nope, nothing. Why is that? Well, this doesn't make sense, right? I mean, name equals Billy and name equals Ann. But as we've discussed, a variable holds a value. It's a drawer in your desk and it has a certain type of look to it. It either has a pen or a bunch of files. It can have both Billy and Ann, at least now with what we've learned so far. So this doesn't make sense. Where you would use and is maybe to check somebody's name. So I can do if first name, remember I'm using camel case here, Bob, and last name equals Smith, close the bracket, curly brackets, I'm going to say alert, hi, Bob Smith, close the brackets, the curly brackets, press enter. Oh, and it looks like I made a mistake here. And it says first name is not defined. And well, that's true because I've never said what first name is and last name is. Before, I've already defined what name was. But it needs to know what these variables are. Otherwise, it's saying, hey, I'm JavaScript and I've never encountered these words before. What are you talking about? So before we do this, we have to say variable first name equals Bob and variable last name equals Smith. Okay. I actually want to draw your attention back to the error. You'll get this a lot when you're starting off. Reference error, first name is not defined. It's pretty good error, but keep that in mind. Reference error just means I don't know what this value is. It's not referencing anything. Okay, so now that we have first name and last name defined, we press up again to get to our little execution piece here, and I go press enter, and I get hi Bob Smith. If I change the first name or last name to say Jones, press enter, and let's re-execute this piece of code. I get nothing because first name and last name must match. Okay, I have one last one over here, and that's the exclamation point, or exclamation mark, not point. Let's see what it does. This is a little bit tricky, but see if you can follow along here. If exclamation mark name equals Bob, opening brackets, alert, hi Bob, and close the bracket. Press enter, and I get hi Bob. Okay. Let's remember what name was. It's Billy. Why am I getting hi Bob when Billy's the name? Clearly, name doesn't equal Bob because of this. This is the not operator. So it's the opposite. So it turns this expression, which is name equals Bob, which is false, to true. So just to show you, if I go this and then false, I get true. And if I go this, true, I get false. So that's why I use the brackets here. I'm saying evaluate this, and once you do this, add the opposite to not. And it seems like, why would I ever want to do that? When would I ever use this? And this is a good thing to use whenever, let's say, you want to turn off a switch. So just like I showed you, if I go not true, I can say now it's off. Not false, light comes on. So you'll see cases when we do use this, and I promise you it's very, very, very important that we have it in the language. So let's just review what we've learned up to this point so that in the next video, we have a sense of where we've been and where we're going. We've talked about JavaScript types. We've learned about numbers, strings, booleans, and undefined. We've also learned about JavaScript comparisons that we use sometimes in conditional statements like if statements. We've learned about JavaScript variables. We've learned about JavaScript conditionals, the if, else, if statements. And we've learned about JavaScript logical operators, these and, or, and exclamation marks. And there's a few more that we haven't covered yet, and don't worry, we will. I know this is confusing. This is new syntax. It's learning a new language, but it's not too bad. It definitely doesn't have as many words as a real language. You just have to get used to this and practice typing in the console and practice with the problems and get yourself familiar with running these syntaxes, and it will click and it will become second nature. Like I said, everybody goes through this. You'll get it. I promise. I know I keep saying this, but I only say it because I know when I started learning this stuff, that's how I felt. And that's how everybody else feels. So I want to just make sure that, don't worry, you'll get there. You're going to be a master of JavaScript by the end of this course. So I'll see you in the next one. Can't wait to show you more. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.